good afternoon. Welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're tuning into my channel for the first time, my name is Peace and I remain your favorite psychologist. On this channel, I bring you frank talks about the society and you. And on this channel, I try to stay on the path of positivity. First of all, let me sincerely apologize for being a few minutes late. I had an engagement and that took my time a little bit. So, today I'm going to start the session with an intro song. How could an angel break my heart? Why didn't he catch my falling star? I wish I never wished so much. Maybe I wish that love apart. How could an angel break my heart? I had a face as white as rain, soft as the rose that blooms in May. He keeps her picture in a frame. And when he sleeps, he calls her name. I wonder if he smiles at her the way he used to smile at me. I hope she doesn't make him laugh, because his laugh belongs to me. How could an angel break my heart? Why didn't he catch my falling star? I wish I never wished so much. Maybe I wish the love apart. How could an angel break my heart? Welcome, guys. Thanks for joining me. That was just a song, an intro song to drive us into the main topic of the day. Why do women stay in toxic relationships? Why do women sit back when everything has gone sour? Why do women still hold on to stuff they know has ended? Could it be money? Could it be love? Or could it be the fear of starting over? Hello, thanks for joining. I'm fine, thank you. Could it be love? Could it be money? Or could it be the fear of starting over? Look around you in the society. This is a big challenge for every woman out there in the society. There are so many, a large majority of women are just hanging on in relationships that they know very well was over a long time ago, but they choose to stay even when they're not happy. They choose to stay even when they know that they can't get anything satisfactory from those relationships. They just choose to stay and hold on to those relationships. Me as a woman, I have had my fair share of such an experience. Yes, I was once in a relationship, and at the point where that relationship became toxic, I didn't leave. Not just did I not leave, I was not ready to leave. I did not leave. I was not ready to leave, despite the fact that I knew that there was nothing to hold on to anymore in that relationship. I was still holding on. I was still there. I was still hanging on. I was still standing. Was I hoping for things to get better? Um, Maybe yes. Because while I was staying, I was praying. And of course, we women, we believe that with prayers we can change so many things. Even when we see the reality, we still believe that with prayers we can change certain things. So while I was in that relationship, I was holding on. I was receiving toxicity, negativity, bitterness, and all of that. But I was still holding on to that relationship. But in my own case, it wasn't because of money, because there was no money. And it wasn't because of love, because the love had already died. It was something else. In my own case, it was the fear of starting over, the fear of starting afresh. And I know that for so many women in the society, sometimes it's not really the money. And sometimes it could be the fear of bearing the financial burdens all alone. It could be the fear of having to be the one to shoulder the responsibility of the children. So they choose to endure the toxicity, they choose to endure the pain, they choose to endure whatsoever challenge that relationship is coming up with. When I say relationship, it could be relationship, it could be marriage, right? Marriage is also a relationship. So I'm not limiting it to just relationship. When I say relationship, it could be relationship and it could be marriage. So there are so many women out there right now who are still holding on to toxic relationships, relationships that they know has no hope or any has no has no hope for the future. They know, why are you sweating, girl? Oh, I'm sweating because there's no light. They just took the lights and I didn't want to wait for them to restore the light before I do the live session. Holding on to those relationships, not and for some people, it's not just for financial gain. It's not just because of the money. For some people, it's because they actually really do love their partner. They love their partner so much, they feel that if they leave that partner, they may not be able to love another person as much as they loved that partner. So they choose to hold on, they choose to stay, they choose to tolerate whatsoever um, negativity, they choose to tolerate whatsoever abuse that partner would dish out to them, just because they feel and they believe that they may not be able to love another person as much as they have loved that their partner. And for so many other people, it is the fear of starting over. I tell you for free, it is not easy to make that decision to leave a relationship, especially a relationship that you have invested years and efforts and energy into. You will think forward and you will think backward. You will think up and you will think down. Not because you don't know that you should leave, but because you just keep thinking, how do I start? Sometimes when you even say, oh, let me try, and then you see someone else that comes to say hi, and then by the time the person is saying hi and you reply hi, the person starts saying something and it's not going along the, like, you are not bonding with this person. You just give up and just go back to where you're coming from. You just say, ah, before I come and start trying to get to know someone else, and then I'll try starting to form a bond, and then I'll start over again. That's going to take a whole lot of time. So let me just stay where I am. Yes, I'm not happy. Yes, it's not going the way I expected, but I think it's better for me to be here. And for some people, sometimes, for some of us women, sometimes, we would have given this man the full belief that come what may, come rain, come shine, we are not going anywhere. No matter how badly you treat me, no matter how much you abuse me, I am not going anywhere. I will stay anyways. I remember in my own situation, I actually gave this person so much confidence that he was so sure I wasn't going to leave this relationship. He was 101% sure that no matter what happened, I was not going to leave this relationship. Yes, I gave that person that much confidence. I said I was not thinking. I never thought, I never imagined, I never envisaged leaving that relationship. So, like in my own case, I told you already it wasn't because of the money, because there was no money there. I wasn't staying in the relationship because of the money. And I wasn't also staying in the relationship because of love, because as at that point, the love had already walked out of the door. So I was just in the relationship, firstly, because I was scared of starting over. I was scared of starting over, starting afresh. How I was worried. How will I start over? And secondly, I was scared of societal stigma. Hmm. I was scared of societal stigma. That is because this relationship had produced kids and I wasn't officially married. So I was very scared. I was worried. I kept wondering, how will I start over? How will people see me? What will people say about me? How will I look at people? Or how will I look at my friends? Oh, people in church. Oh, my neighbors. What will I do? That was one of the things that held me back, and I stayed. And despite staying, I cried day and night because it wasn't really looking like what I planned, right? Of course, when everyone of for every each and every person, when you're going into a relationship, you have a plan, you have a vision. There are certain things you're looking out for and hoping that that relationship would turn into. So, as at that point, it wasn't really looking like what I had hoped and planned for. So, and leaving was not an option because, like I said, I was scared of the societal stigma, and I was also scared of how I was going to start afresh. But my biggest challenge was not the starting afresh part. My biggest challenge was the societal stigma. Because trust me, societal stigma can drive you to taking your own life. Societal stigma can hold you back. Do you see this term? What will people say about me? What will people say about this thing I have done? What will people say if I take this decision? That is one of the reasons so many women are still in very toxic relationships. Not because they don't know that they should leave, not because they don't know that that place is dangerous and unhealthy for them. They know because there are so many women in relationships right now that they know they've lost themselves already trying to be in that relationship. They know. They don't need anybody to advise them or try to talk to them or try to put words in their head. They know. But the fear of what will people say has kept them in their relationship. Some of them are even in relationships where they don't even get to see the money. They're with partners. Let me use marriage for instance. Some women are with partners who don't even get to give them money for upkeep or to take care of the kids anymore. But they still choose to stay anyways. For some, they are in relationships where their partners physically abuse them, psychologically abuse them. Some will even use other women, maybe side chick and all of that, to compare with them. In like, you are not taking care of this woman in the house, but you're using another person outside to compare with her and stuff like that. So all the psychological trauma, the abuse and all of that, that woman will cry herself to stupor at night, in the day, and all of that. And she will still stay in that relationship anyways. Not because she doesn't know she should leave. but because of the fear of the societal stigma. What will people say? How will people see me? My family members, my neighbors, church members, and of course, in our side of the world in Africa, we have this very high moral standard. I don't know whether it's a moral standard or it's hypocritical, because of course it's the person whose own is out in the open that people talk about, but whereas they are secretly doing the same thing under the carpet or behind closed doors and nobody's talking about it. So I don't really know whether it's a high moral standard or it's just hypocritical. But but what, like, we just have that kind of societal standard where even people that are doing worse things than you will come out and begin to stigmatize you for even trying to come out openly to take certain decisions to protect yourself. So, in my own case, I was ready to stay there. Initially, I was saying, in a relationship, initially, I was saying I wasn't going to go anywhere. I was going to stay here, even if I have to buy in this place. Yes, I'll buy, just so that nobody in the society is going to have to say anything negative about me. And until one day, we just finished having one of our usual rounds, and a neighbor, a man, a fellow man, called me up, and then the man said to me, Peace, have you ever thought? I heard everything that man said to you, and I've seen this going on. And then he said to me, Peace, have you ever thought that if anything happens and you are no more today, those children that you are saying you want to be here to protect, to do anything, you will not be there to see how they'll be faring in this harsh and cold world. Is it not better for you to keep yourself alive and keep yourself in good health so that you can actually take care of those children? And I went back home and I sat down and I thought about this thing very deep. I weighed my options. I said people will laugh at me for being a single mother, but it will be better for me to be alive as a single mother than for my children to be suffering unnecessarily without a mother's protection. So I thought about it. I thought about it deep. Don't forget that my biggest fear was the societal stigmatization. My biggest fear was the societal stigmatization. So every other thing didn't matter to me because, of course, I wasn't there for the money, for the love. I know the love had already walked out of the door. So I was just holding on because of the societal stigmatization. But I know that for some other women, it could be the financial responsibilities that will be making them hold on. For some other people, it could be maybe because they feel, oh, they love this person so much they will not be able to love another person again. And for some other people, it could be the fear of starting over. But in my own case, it was different. It wasn't any of the three things I listed. For me, it was the fear of stigmatization. So after that conversation, I thought deeply, and I realized there was sense and there was truth in that. Because at the end of the day, if I hold on to the fear of the societal stigmatization and I end up buying in that relationship, by the time my children will be going through whatever challenges they'll be going through in the life, the society will still be moving on like nothing ever happened. So what I did was I picked up myself, I dusted myself very well, and then I moved. This was after giving this my partner 101% assurance, like, you know how you're with someone and the person is so sure that no matter whatever it is they do to you, you go nowhere. I know some of you are with such partners. Some of you are with such partners that believe so much that no matter how they treat you, no matter how badly they treat you, you go nowhere. They have that conviction in them. So it came as a shock. It came as a shock. It came as a shock when this person turned around and I was gone. He couldn't believe it. Like he couldn't believe it. And trust me, it wasn't an easy decision to make. It wasn't an easy decision to make. But for the very first time, I choose to shut my ears to this, to what other people will say and what the society will say about me. And I made that decision. And fast forward to this period of my life, I am still very grateful that I was able to make that decision at that point, because who knows? Who knows? Maybe by this time, like this, they'll be saying, whenever someone mentions my name, the person will say RIP. It because it was that bad. So I I want to use this medium to encourage women, not because I'm trying to say that it's a good thing or it's a nice thing to break off relationships, but I'm just trying to encourage women that if you're in a place, if you're in a relationship that has gone sour and has gone toxic, the safest thing for you to do is to consider yourself. Think about your mental health first and think about your safety first. Because there is something about staying in a toxic place. The human system is adaptive. The more you stay in a place, the more your body system, your brain, your mind, everything is thinking about your brain, your mind, everything is thinking of how to adapt in that place. A recent incident just happened where a married couple, a woman had to set her husband ablaze, right? They may have been having these fights and these quarrels and these unnecessary struggles in their relationship, right? And at that point, maybe that was the adaptive measure her mind suggested to her. Trust me, that couldn't have been a reflex. That wasn't a reflex. It couldn't have been a reflex. But the thing is, when you are in a toxic place, when you're in a toxic place, uh, that's the thing. Once there's no light, I sweat a lot. I have to use this. Thank you, Glory. There's no light. There's no light. And I didn't want to wait till there was light to make this video because the time was already past. So the thing is, when you're in a toxic environment, your body, your mind, your brain is constantly looking for ways for you to adapt. Constantly looking for ways for you to adapt to that toxicity. And every day you are in that situation, your mind is suggesting new ways for you to adapt. New ways for you to adapt, new ways for you to adapt. And before you know it, something, a scenario, a situation may just come up, and that suggestion your mind gave to you, you just execute it, and boom, the deed is done. The matter has gone beyond repairs. So, my beautiful ladies, my beautiful women, my beautiful mothers, I'm not saying it is wrong to try to save a relationship, but I want you to understand that a relationship takes two people who are willing to work on it to last and to be saved. When you are the only person trying to hold on to this relationship, you are going to be breaking yourself every day. You're going to be breaking your own heart every day. You're going to be living in pain every day. And the more you live in this pain, the more your mind is suggesting ways for you to escape from this pain. Sometimes it could be positive, and sometimes it could be negative. But before it gets to that point, it's better for you to pull out of that negative situation. It is always said that he who lives, who fights and run away, lives to fight again. If you're in a relationship and it goes toxic, it's better for you to pull out so that you can live to be in a relationship again. If you stay there and something goes wrong, and at the end of the day, one of you becomes unalive as a result of one person, there is nothing tangible to write home about such a relationship or such an incident. But if you pull out, you'll still be alive to try again at another relationship if you are willing to. So please, my beloved women, ladies, and beautiful sisters, holding on to a toxic relationship will only do you more harm than good. Think about your mental health. Think about your physical safety. And think about your growth and progression as a person. I'd like to hear your comments and opinion in the comment section. I'd like to hear your comments and opinion in the comment section. What do you think? Why do women stay and hold on to very toxic and dangerous relationships, even when they know there is no remedy for such relationships? And what ways do you suggest or do you think they can pull out of such relationships? Because trust me, most of the women that are in such relationships is not because they don't know that those relationships are not good to them. They just have one very strong reason or the other to hold on and stay in such relationships. But at the end of the day, staying may be very, very detrimental to their health, mental health, physical health, and even their lives. Okay, guys, so that is just the little package I had for us today. And of course, I also shared a little of my own personal journey through a toxic relationship. And a little of my own personal journey and how I was able to pull out. For me, and in my own case or situation, I stayed because I was scared of what people were going to say about me not being married and having two kids for the same man and all of that. And trust me, that thing traumatized me. In fact, it got to a point that even if someone wasn't even talking about me, I felt I was being talked about. Yes, that was how scared I was of the social stigma. Right. So, and I know that for so many other women, it could be several other different reasons best known to them. But I believe that if they would give themselves the opportunity to live, they would definitely find another opportunity to love and to try at relationships again. There is no sense in having to forcefully stay in a relationship, which may even take your life at the end of the day. which may even take um your life at the end of the day. Um Glory Words TV, you can go back to the beginning of the video and watch again. You would get your answer there. Thank you very much. So guys, this is just the size of the little package I have for us today. I'd like to hear your comments and opinion and possible positive suggestions for women who are still in toxic relationships and who are still holding on to such relationships. Right. Thank you very much for joining me. Thank you for staying this long with me. See you guys in my next video. Don't forget, if you don't take anything from this video today, just take the fact that it is better to stay alive and healthy so that you can try again at love and relationship than to buy trying to hold on to one that is already dead and gone. Don't forget to like, share, subscribe, drop your comments and opinion in the comment section. See you guys in my next live session. Bye.